Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Skyfall, turn 17.1, Germany. It is July 1944. Germany has 4 tech rolls. First, I tried for advanced artillery at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 9, so I succeed. Second, I tried for radar at a 8 or higher, no, a 7 or higher. PB generated an 8, so I succeeded. I really wanted that one for a couple of reasons. One is those Russian subs keep hitting me up in C-Zone A8, so I'll get a +2 on that, but also that I get to scramble unlimited. Third, I tried for heavy armor at an 8 or higher. PB generated an 11, so I succeeded. On fire with tech this turn. And fourth, I tried for jet fighters at an 8 or higher, and I got 4 for 4. I generated a 10, so I succeeded, advanced to stage 3. Okay, so right now the victory points, the Axis hold 4 victory cities and the Allies hold 4 victory cities. The Comintern hold 2. So total, the Axis have 7 victory points, the Allies have 7 victory points, and the Comintern have 4 victory points, but the Comintern could get both. No, I guess they can't get 2 more points this turn, but Comintern is ascending. So we will see how close this game will be. Of course, the Axis is really hoping that the variable die roll for the end of the game comes out a 1 or 2 at the end of this turn. All right, so purchases. Germany has 66 IPP to spend. They will purchase 4 militia for 8, 10 advanced mechanized infantry for 40, that's 48, 2 panzer grenadiers for 8, that's 56, 1 medium armor for 6, that's 62, and I'll begin construction of a fortification in Berlin for 4, so that's 66. Got a couple bits of housekeeping. The first is that I got my shipyard bombed in Western Germany, and 3 ships can move out. We don't want to call that scrambling. They're not scrambling when they're moving out. They're just moving out. Scrambling is something that occurs during the combat phase. So these 3 ships just move out of port. The other ones are trapped. So it's the destroyer and 2 naval transports are in A12. And then the second thing is that down here on Boston Bruce's USA 16.9 turn, he dropped off some troops with a naval transport here in northern Algeria, so he can't continue movement. He's just going to go in port in Gibraltar. So that naval transport is in Gibraltar. All right, combat movement. I think I've got 4 combats. 2 of them are convoy. No, I've got 5 combats. 2 of them are convoy raiding, and 3 of them are land combats. One of them is here in southern Iraq. So I thought about just standing my ground and fighting Hambone's forces. He could bring down his medium bomber from Transcaucasia and bring in all those units from Azerbaijan. But instead, I'm going to move over these 7 units, which is 6 advanced mechanized infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery. They're going to move into southern Iraq. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's starting to get close on Triumph of Capitalism. And so by me leaving this large Russian force and hopefully being able to push out the British, this is a 18 pip versus 16 pip battle, but the difference is that I have 7 units and he only has 4. So assuming that I do win there, perhaps I can continue to keep fighting the French, or taking points away from the Allies and hopefully giving them to the Soviets. Okay, so that's what is going on here. I thought about trying to get the Spanish point since we're tied right now, but boy, the Americans have a really good force that could potentially pounce on me, so I'm not doing anything with the Spanish. Okay, so there's a couple more land combats here. From Berlin, wait, let's see, make sure Berlin and Western Germany are on camera. Yep. Okay, so from Berlin, 2 air transports are going to fly to Western Germany and pick up 2 airborne infantry. And then they're going to go 2, 3, 4 to Normandy and drop off 2 airborne infantry to conduct an airborne assault. They'll fly back 4 and land in Berlin. From Western Germany, 4 fighters are going to go to Normandy. 1 will land back in Western Germany, and then 3 of them will land in Paris. Yeah, the Allies have set themselves up really nicely. They can either do Overlord or they can hit Paris. They have maximum flexibility, so I had to be really careful to make sure I can defend from both of those potential attacks. From Bavaria, 4 fighters will fly to Normandy, and then they'll fly back to Bavaria. And from Western Germany, the medium bomber will fly to Normandy and back to Western Germany. So what that means is I've got 8 fighters and a medium bomber so far, plus the 2 airborne. And then from Paris, 1 infantry will walk over. So he's going to have 3 militia and 2 motorized infantry. He'll have 5 units. I'll have 3 ground units, and then 9 aircraft. So that's what's happening in Normandy. Now let's talk about Aquitaine. From Paris, 1 airborne infantry will walk over to Aquitaine, but that's across a river. So he faces a river penalty. From southern France, 1 infantry will walk over to Aquitaine. He doesn't face a river penalty. And then from Berlin, 1 fighter will fly 1, 2, 3, 4 to Aquitaine. It will land in Alsace-Lorraine, 5, 6. And from southern France, 1 fighter will fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll land in Berlin. So I'll have 2 fighters, an infantry, and an airborne that's penalized in the Aquitaine fight. And then we already talked about the southern Iraq fight. Okay. I've got 2 convoy raids. This seaplane is going to fly from Rome. It'll go 1, 2, 3 to sea zone M4 and go on map. I'm at a seaplane base and I have long-range aircraft, and I will conduct convoy raiding there in sea zone M4. And then to take pressure off that amazing Japanese coastal sub that's been doing a wonderful job, the Germans will try with this sub, since we're getting to the end of the game, it'll try convoy raiding there in A48. All right, combat. Okay, let's do the Normandy attack first. I have 2, well, I've got 1 at 2 with my infantry. Miss. I've got 2 at 3 with the airborne getting dropped off. Hit. So I got 1 hit so far. Then I've got 8 at 6. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the fighters. Only 2 hits. So no matter what, he's gonna survive. And 1 at 7. Shoot! So I only hit 3. So he's got the 2 motorized left over. That sucks. Okay, so he's got 3 at 2 with his militia. He has 2 militia from the heavy cruisers. 1 hit. And then he's got 2 at 4. Well, that's a blessing. Hope that's acceptable that that's a 12. Okay, so he only got 1 hit, and I only got 3 hits. So he is down to 2 motorized, and I am down to an airborne and an infantry. Second round. Let's just go straight with the 8 fighters and see if we can't get 2 hits again. Okay, 4 hits. And then he has 2 at 4. Ah, okay, so I got lucky there, actually. I thought at first I was getting unlucky, but he just missed 4 times out of 4 with his motorized. So that is 1 up for Germany, 1 down for Great Britain. And I take it with an airborne and an infantry. Germany goes up to 51. Great Britain goes down to 34. Okay, next we're doing Aquitaine. I have the 1 airborne that's penalized going across a river, so it's at 1. And then I've got 2 fighters. Just need 1 hit. Miss. Okay, and then I've got the infantry at 2. Wouldn't that be interesting to get it the hard way? Nope. And he's got 1 at 2 with his airborne. Okay, let's try the 2 fighters again. There we go. And he's got the airborne. Miss. All right, so in both places I take it with an airborne and an infantry. So Aquitaine is worth 1. So that's 1 down for Great Britain, 1 up for Germany. Germany goes up to 52. Great Britain goes down to 33. Alrighty. Now let's do the attack in the desert. I'm in southern Iraq. Of course, it's desert. I've got 6 at 3. Two hits. And he has 4 at 4. And they are due. Chris is due for some luck here. Yep, 2 hits. Okay, so I lose 2. Let's check this out. Oh no, I could lose my anti-aircraft artillery. Should I do that? Let's think here. What should I take? Should have thought this out. What is he going to hit me with? No, I think I'm going to lose the anti-aircraft artillery. So I'll lose 1 anti-aircraft artillery and 1 Panzer Grenadier. So that drops me down to just 5 Panzer Grenadiers. Don't need this task force marker anymore. And he has 2 infantry. So 5 at 3. Two hits, that's what I needed. So he's got 2 at 4. Miss. All right, so I do take southern Iraq with 5 Panzer Grenadiers. Let's put on the marker for that. I guess I don't need to have the camera here anymore. This is occurring here. That's worth 1. So Germany goes up to 53. Great Britain goes down to 32. All right, we've got, I am PBEing my convoy rating. So I've got 2 different convoy rates. One is in M4 with the seaplane, and I only get a +1, and the convoy line gets a +3. But there's no anti-submarine warfare result against that. So I rolled a 1, and the convoy rolled a 6, so I don't do any damage at all. In C-Zone A48, my sub gets a +2. I rolled a 6, so that goes up to 8, and the convoy line rolled a 2, so that goes up to 5, so I did max damage here in C-Zone A48. I do 3 points of damage to the British. So they go down to exactly 35 in the bank. And that is all my combat. All right, non-combat. The first is way up there in A8. I am disincentivized to cut that line. I think in version, no, I know, in version 4.2, the Allies will not be allowed to send Lend-Lease to the Russians when they're at war with them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and go in port with this coastal sub in Western Germany. Okay. Then in Sea Zone A12, I've got the destroyer and the 2 transports. They're going to go into port here in Eastern Germany. There at that shipyard. From Western Germany, 2 infantry will move down into Berlin. Alrighty, let's see here. From Alsace-Lorraine, is Paris and southern France? No, I need to move this down a bit. Okay, from Alsace-Lorraine, 4 infantry will move into Paris. From southern France, 1 more infantry will move into Paris. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the ASW roll for the convoy line was a 10, so it did not hit that sub. That's in A48. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so total I'm adding 5 more infantry to Paris. They started the turn with 25, but 1 left and went into the attack in Normandy, and 5 more have joined, so basically I go up 4. So I'm at 29 infantry in Paris. From Bavaria, I'm going to have 1 of these advanced mechanized go to Paris, and that'll bring me up to 6 advanced mechanized in Paris. And then from Bavaria, I'm going to have 5 infantry, 6 advanced mechanized, and 2 Panzer Grenadiers are going to move into Alsace-Lorraine. From southern France, I'm going to have an anti-aircraft artillery move to Alsace-Lorraine. Fiasco here. So that gets me 2 anti-aircraft artillery in Alsace-Lorraine. There's so many various places that he can attack. And then from southern France, 1 artillery is going to move up into Paris. All right, I think that's all my movement there in Germany and France. Let's go over here to Poland. Got to get this fighter out. Can't forget that. From Warsaw, 1 fighter will fly to Berlin. Although, maybe I don't really need him in Berlin. Maybe I can call an audible and fly him to Bavaria instead. Okay, from Warsaw to, yeah, sure, I can make it to Bavaria, no problem. Now watch me get hit in Berlin and rue that decision. Because I'm starting the fortification, but it's not finished yet. No, I think I'm gonna be okay. Let's see. He's got 2 jets and a tactical. Nope. I'm gonna stick with what I studied. Into Berlin. Sorry for that change. So there's 4 fighters in Bavaria and 2 fighters in Berlin, 1 in Western Germany. The medium bomber landed in Western Germany. Should I land it there in Western Germany? That's kind of dumb, isn't it? If he attacks. Nah, we'll go ahead and land it in Western Germany. All right. Just stick with the plan. Warsaw. Okay, Central Romania. From Central Romania, 1 medium armor is going to strategic rail move to Western Germany. From Central Romania, 4 medium armor are going to strategic rail move to Bavaria. From Central Romania, everything else, which is 8 advanced mechanized infantry, 12 panzer grenadiers, 3 medium armor, and 1 self-propelled artillery, will move to Donoslawski, like the coward that I am. Let's see. Oh, and then on the C-Zone M4, that seaplane is going to fly back to Rome. Okay, so I think, is that all my non-combat movement? Let me just look over the board. Oh, there's something we have to do in Normandy. There's 2 heavy cruisers. That air base that's under construction is destroyed. And then there's these 2 heavy cruisers that I have to roll for to see if they join the Germans. They join on a 10, 11, or 12. I've got this teed up on PBE. And oh my God. See, I am so glad that I did PBE it, because I rolled 2 11s. So they both become German heavy cruisers. They're still trapped in port, but at least they'll provide militia. Got 2 boats. I think these were painted by Randall, 9449. I have this with 4 points of damage because of the ham bone trick of repairing 1 point of damage there. Okay, but I think that's everything. Let's do placement of units. In Berlin, I'm going to put 2 militia. I probably am over defending, but the Americans could try a 1-2 against me. Okay, and then I'll start the fortification there in Berlin. Then I'll put a militia in southern France and another militia in Alsace-Lorraine. That gets me up to 2 militia there. In Western Germany, I'm going to build 2. Well, first I'll build 1 medium armor. That gets me up to 2 there. And then 2 Panzer Grenadiers and 2 advanced mechanized infantry. Then in Bavaria, just 8 advanced mechanized infantry. Okay. Collect income. So I have 53 plus 2 for southern Iran, plus 3 for Romania, plus 3 for Sweden. That's 61. That's probably the last time I'll see 60. All right. I've got the Spanish recruitment roll at a 10. I've got that teed up on PBE. Let's see what happens in Spain. I rolled a 1. Okay, so I get another, I'm going to get an infantry. Get us up to 16 infantry there in Madrid, in case next turn is the turn. All right, let's do disposition of forces. We'll do the things that are distant here. A48, there's a sub. Let's go over Spain. Balearic Islands has a militia. Basque Country has a militia. Galicia Leon has a militia. Western Andalusia has a militia. There are, is that 5? Yeah, I think that's 5. 5 militia. In Madrid, 16 infantry, 1 airborne infantry, 1 cavalry, 2 artillery, 2 fighters, 1 air transport, and an air base. All right. Let's do kind of outside of normal Germany. Way over in southern Iraq, I have the 5 advanced mechanized infantry. In Yugoslavia, Western Yugoslavia, militia. Eastern Yugoslavia, a militia. Austria, a militia. Let's talk about Donoslavsky. 1 infantry, 8 advanced mechanized infantry, 12 panzer grenadiers, 3 medium armor, 1 self-propelled artillery. Eastern Germany, 1 militia, the 4 Italians. In port in Eastern Germany, a destroyer and 2 naval transports. Denmark militia, Netherlands militia, Belgium militia. Normandy, airborne infantry, 2 heavy cruisers in port, unbelievable luck. Aquitaine, 1 airborne, 1 infantry. Southern France, 1 militia, 1 infantry, 4 Italian infantry, Italian airborne, 3 Italian Marines, 1 Italian medium armor, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 air transport, 1 medium bomber. Switzerland militia, Austria militia. Let's talk about Paris. 3 militia, fortification. Let's see. 29 infantry, 6 advanced mechanized infantry, 7 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 artillery, 2 self-propelled artillery, 3 fighters. Aquitaine, 2 militia, 5 infantry, 6 advanced mechanized infantry, 2 panzer grenadiers, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 fighter. Bavaria, 8 advanced mechanized infantry, 4 medium armor, 4 fighters. Western Germany. In port on the western side, thanks Bruce, 1 sub, 1 coastal sub. There's fortification, Italian seaplane, 6 militia, 9 infantry, 2 airborne infantry, 3 Marines, 7 anti-aircraft artillery, 2 advanced mechanized infantry, 2 panzer grenadiers, 2 medium armor, 1 fighter, 1 medium bomber, In port on the eastern side and trapped, because there's been 5 points of damage to that port, are a light carrier, a battleship, and a battle cruiser. In Berlin, 2 militia, 2 infantry, 2 airborne infantry, 2 air transports, 2 fighters, a fortification under construction. Bohemia has a militia. And I believe that is everything. Next up is Hambone with 17.2 CCP and 17.3 USSR.